Alright, I'm kind of forcing myself to do this video. I always seem to be making my videos at the end of the night after I've been doing a ton of massage and scrubbing walls and owner managerial crap that goes along with being a business owner. So I have the idea, I have lots of discussions with my clients, and by the end of the day, I don't want to talk about it at all. But the election's coming up, and I am an anti-prohibitionist, as anybody that's been following me probably knows fairly well, and probably much like my girlfriend is sick to death of hearing me talk about it. But it's so pertinent to what's going on in the world. And a lot of people get, or a lot of people, my close friends and family, mostly girlfriend, get sick of hearing me talk about cannabis and marijuana prohibition. But for me, it's not about the drug necessarily. I was talking to a client tonight about why, or what the big thing is with Washington, excuse me, Washington and Oregon and Colorado voting to legalize, or having legalization on the ballot for that, and because they already have medical marijuana legalized, and you can, and it's pretty much a shall issue drug. You go to a doctor and say, I've got stress, pot. There's really no better drug for stress, anxiety, things like that. And once you get your prescription, my understanding is you are then legal to grow enough for personal use. So the drug isn't the issue. Even here in Florida, I can get as much marijuana as I want. So the smoking pot isn't the issue. And it isn't the issue in those states either. So she was curious as if it's already legal there to get marijuana, what's the big deal about legalizing? And there's some doing legalizing like alcohol, but that's not even the big deal. That's not where the opposition is. That's where the visible opposition is. That's where you hear people talking, the churches, oh, we can't have, there'll be people killing each other over drinking or smoking and driving, and it'll be horrible. That's the out in front talking points. As if anybody's followed the prohibition, you already know that it's not about the drug. That's not why it's illegal. The reason they're voting for legalization is hemp. Plain and simple. It's the non-drug industrial hemp plant that is the issue. That's the whole thing, at least as far as I can tell on their ballots, on the ballots that's coming out. The big money opposition, the corporate opposition, the political prison, private prison, police chief opposition, the big money and big talk behind the scenes is all about hemp. And that's why marijuana was illegal in the first place. Nobody gave a shit about marijuana until the cotton gin, or until the hemp gin was invented. And that's when Texas oil and the cotton industry and the slave industry lost their shit. And I don't think it was a giant conspiracy where they teamed up. I think they saw one start to squeal about it, and they went, oh yeah, well, let's jump on that bandwagon. And everybody that had an interest in making marijuana or cannabis illegal, hemp illegal, see, it's late, hemp illegal, jumped on the bandwagon. So it was a conspiracy of opportunity, from what my research has shown me, anyway. And where I see this as pertinent, this isn't even, that's just background, where I see this as pertinent, I wish I was editing on this phone because I'd take all this stuff out, is climate change, global warming, green energy, the green movement, the shit that we saw up in the north with Sandy, the big storms. That's not going to get better. And even Bloomberg just recently came out saying it's global warming. And how I equate the two is, I don't know why more people don't see it. To me, it's blindingly obvious. Hemp. We use concrete for housing and construction. Concrete is a huge global warming gas contributor that you have to heat it to thousands of degrees for hours to process Portland cement. Portland cement is also one of the lobbyists keeping hemp illegal. Why is that, you might ask? Well, Hempcrete, using hemp, which is just hemp and lime, and then you let it dry, is 5 times lighter and stronger than concrete. It takes no heating, no specialized equipment. You can grow whatever you need to build your house right on your property before you build it. You don't have to pay for distribution. You don't have to pay for the travel. You don't have to pay for these giant machines and ovens that produce tons and tons of greenhouse gases and use megawatts of electricity. Hemp, shiv, and lime. Period. That's it. You couldn't get any more greener. Not only is it greener, it's insulatory like styrofoam is. You have a house made out of hempcrete that has a couple foot thick walls, which if you were growing it, you could make it 5 feet thick, and it wouldn't really cost you anything more because you're growing it yourself. See, all this will destroy the construction industry as we know it. So they're behind keeping hemp illegal too. But you get a couple foot thick or 3 feet thick. I'd like 4 when I build my monolithic dome. And it's like a cave. You get thermal mass and an insulatory factor similar to styrofoam, and you don't have to run any electricity to either heat or cool your home because it's already going to be cave cooled. In Florida here, I'm concerned about cooling because it's 500 degrees all the time. So in construction, hemp will revolutionize the industry and be green, super affordable, super strong, will last, as I've seen some interviews of contractors say, instead of hundreds of years, they know their walls will last tens of thousands of years because of the properties of hempcrete. It's superior in every way I've seen. I haven't seen any negative or any way that it wasn't superior to concrete. So that for construction, green. I believe I've seen some discrepancies, but I'm going to just say it produces the most biofuel oil per acre than any other plant. So not only do you have the shiv, which is the balsa wood inside to make hempcrete out of and build your houses out of, the oil that you get from the seed can run all your farm equipment and probably most of your automobiles once you get that up and running. And if you have a bit of land yourself, an extra acre, not hard to do here in Florida, there's tons of swamp land that you can grow hemp on, you would never have to buy fuel for your vehicle again. And the oil you get from the seed will run the cold press generator, cold press machine to get the oil out of, and fuel your farm equipment. So essentially free, green. It's all renewable fuel. So you have the construction of the homes, which is green and non-toxic, which I didn't even mention. You have the fuel. After you're done with the seed, pulling the oil from the seed, you have the seed protein, which is amazing. Then you can have whatever's left over for clothes, rope, paper. It's good for every single thing. So you integrate hemp into construction, into fuel production, into textiles, all that. Hemp will cover it, and it's green and renewable. You get a new crop every 4 months. So it is the most disruptive plant, most disruptive technology that I've ever seen. You can have your tablets. You keep your tablets and your cell phones. I'll keep my cell phone. I like my new phone. But as far as human comfort and sustainability, hemp is the only plant we should be looking at. When they brought up corn for ethanol, initially I was for it, because corn's a renewable resource. You can grow it. But when the facts came out about what it was and how efficient it, or non-efficient it was ridiculous. It was obviously a scam that the oil companies wanted it to fail. And they weren't even worried about it succeeding because it was ridiculous. Hemp, on the other hand, could replace gasoline using biofuel from hemp and other sources. I mean, you don't have to just use hemp. And you don't have to get rid of gasoline. You can still keep using the fuel, the gasoline oil, to offset for a transition. So cannabis prohibition, to me, is marijuana prohibition is the epitome of corporatism and big business not giving a damn about the environment or the poor or the sick or renewable. They just want to make their money. And I think it's the biggest issue out there. You can keep your Guantanamo. They can't put that many people in there. You can socialize healthcare. Once prohibition is over, that corporate healthcare will crumble. With marijuana legalization, most medicine tries desperately to do what marijuana does without any negative side effects. All of that put together, prohibition of marijuana and cannabis, mostly cannabis, or hemp is my big deal. And I talk about it with everybody that I can get to listen to me for 10 seconds, which makes me, I know, a huge ass in most circles, and I can't help it. I don't see why more people aren't inflamed and infuriated by the bullshit that corporate government has enforced for a buck, for money. In this country, and it has been for a long time, money over people. Every time I hear them talk about, oh, we have to balance the budget. It's the budget. The budget's completely out of control. Well, the only way that they're thinking to balance the budget is balance the budget at the expense of people dying, of people's health and people's welfare, the people of our country. We have to not take care of our people because we spend too much money. Fuck that. I don't care how much into debt we go to. People are more important than money every time. And if you don't think so, well, keep your fucking money and keep out of society. We don't need you. We need each other. It's late. I'm going to stop. I'm going to try and do more of these more often just to get in the habit. But I'm scrambled. So, peace. Happy Halloween.